In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to use Elementor forms to capture more leads and convert them into sales. In fact, we will be building Elementor's multi-step form. Excited? So am I. I was talking to my friend who runs a skincare brand, and he told me that he reaches out to his subscribers asking them their number one skincare concern. Based on the response they give, well, it could be acne, pigmentation, and so on, he recommends them relevant products from his store. He mentioned that his conversion rate from these one-on-one conversations was absolutely mind-boggling. And he was absolutely excited about what these one-on-one conversations were doing for him. But as you can imagine, there is a lot of manual work involved in really asking these questions and then searching for the right products and so on. Well, what if you could create a system that could automate this for you? That could produce just as berserk conversion rate without you having to do all the manual work of reaching out to people, literally. Hi, I'm Tavleen from Build WooFunnels, and my sales funnel tutorials help you maximize your profits. And in this tutorial, I'm going to show you exactly how to build that system by connecting Elementor forms with your WooCommerce store. Watch this full tutorial because I'm going to show you not just how to send out personalized product recommendation emails, but also how to direct your leads to dedicated one-page checkout, listing the products that you recommend them so that they can buy without switching tabs or changing pages. Yes, this definitely will help you maximize your conversions and minimize friction. So before I dive in, well, I'm going to quickly ask you to slam that subscribe button so when I create my next follow along tutorial like this one, it finds its way to you. Here's a quick overview or agenda for this video. So we'll be discussing how to create a multi-step Elementor form, how to send automated product recommendation emails based on the options selected in the form, and finally, how to create a gorgeous one-page checkout where users can buy the products recommended by you without any hoops to jump through. So, well, that's what is lined up. Now, there are timestamps in the description box below, so you can jump over to any specific part of the video that you like. Alright, we're behind the scenes now, and I've created this really simple Elementor form to actually show you how to set this automation up. So in the first step, we ask them simple questions about their skin type, how often they use sunscreen, and on the next step, well, let me show it to you. So I'm just going to fill out oily and once a day. Yep. So the next step requires them to fill out their name and their email. All right. So here we go. Okay. So now we're going to send it. So there you go. The form has been submitted. So here's what we want. When a user submits this Elementor form, they should receive an email. And that email is not a generic templatic email, but it's based on the option they select in this Elementor form. So if they select oily, they get a different email, a different set of products get recommended to them. And if they select dry, there's a different email for them. And if they select combination, there is a different email for them. So well, here, this is the question which really decides in which category they fall and which email they will be receiving. But before I get there, I'm going to quickly show you how I created this simple Elementor form. Alright, so now I'm going to show you how to build this Elementor multi-step form. It's actually a two-step form and it's really simple. So here you've got all the options under content, form fields, buttons, action after submit, and so on. In style, again, you've got all these options, form, field, buttons. So you can use style to basically change the typography, the column gaps, spacing, text colors, button colors, and so on. And content is basically for creating this form. So here, as you can see under form fields, we've got these two questions. Now these are the first two questions, skin type, and the second one here. Then we've got a step section. So this is where we've selected type as step. So this appears in the drop down right here. So you're going to select it from here, right? And then followed by the next 2 questions. So on the next step, we've got email and we've got name, right? So just keep in mind that in a name, we've selected text from the drop down because people are going to fill out something. So it's text, that's the label, enter your name, and this is the placeholder text. Of course, you can mark it as required or optional based on your requirements. From here, you can set the column width. So that's, let me show that to you, how 50% looks. Doesn't look great, so let's turn it back to 100, but that's from where you can set the column width, right? For your email, this is what we've got: label, placeholder, and of course we marked it as required. Now, what you need to keep in mind is that you need to go in advance and set the ID here, so that it needs to be a perfect mapping. So like here in skin type, this is a radio option. This is the radio type. So all the options are written one below the other, so that people can select from the given options, from one of the given options here. And in advance, like I said, we've set the Elementor form field ID to skin type. Similarly, for name, we have set this to name here, and for your email, we've set this to email. So that's what you must keep in mind, that you must set the Elementor form field ID so that there's a perfect mapping between the original form fields and its ID. So well, that's how it'll generate a shortcode and also show you a preview of how it appears. So those are all the options that you have. There are so many more that I would leave for you to explore on your own to create an Elementor multi-step form. Well, now in order to take the data submitted by the person who filled out the form and take action based on the options that they selected, we will be using Autonomy. So Autonomy is a WordPress automation engine that allows your WooCommerce store or your WordPress website to connect and talk beautifully to the other apps that you use and love. Your CRM like ActiveCampaign, Drip ConvertKit, and more. There's Twilio, Zapier, Slack, and of course, form builders like Elementor Forms, Gravity Forms, WP Forms, and more. You will be absolutely blown away by what Autonomy can do right here. And I am going to show you its potential in flesh and bone. So let's get behind the scenes and let me show it to you. So once you have Autonomy installed in your WordPress website, you will be able to see it under WooFunnels, that's automations. So here in automations, you will be able to create an automation from scratch. In my case, I've already created an automation just to quickly show you how that'll look. So let's take a quick look at that. So there you go, that's my automation and that's how it looks. So basically when Elementor form submits, so that's Elementor we've chosen from here. Like I mentioned, you can use WP Forms, Ninja Forms, Gravity Forms, Contact Form 7 and more, but we've chosen Elementor right now for this. So form submits, you've also got the option for pop-up form submission, but we're going to choose form submits, and then we have to select the page on which the form exists. After that, you have to select your email field from all the questions that you've asked them so that the mapping is perfect. So we want this email field to be chosen from the drop down here, and then we're going to hit save. Now, as you can see, this is our automation. Now, if their skin type is oily, we're going to send them a different email which talks about the problems related to the oily skin. And we're also going to recommend them relevant products that help oily skin, help nourish oily skin and so on. Then here we've got the next option, which is dry, another email for that, and here we've got combination and another email for that. So it's a very, very simple automation that we've built it. Let me quickly show it to you how we built it from a blank screen. Okay, so let's just add new. Yep, there you go. You can edit this title and we can say Elementor form skincare update, and that's select an event. So we're going to select Elementor form submits, and that's the page, and then we will map the email field. That's it. Save it. Here you've got two options. So you can either choose direct action or conditional action. So direct action is, let's say, when you want an email to be sent just when the form is submitted. So just thanking them, thank you for submitting the form, and we'll shortly get back to you, or something like that. So that's a direct action. Alternatively, you can choose conditional action. So that's what we're going to choose from here. And then you'll be asked to select conditions or select a rule. So that's our rule. That's our list of rules. You could choose from any of those. But here for Elementor form, this is form field. That's the most important rule from the drop down. So when skin type is, and then we're going to enter the skin type. So we could also, we could base our conditional logic on any of the other questions that we're asking in the Elementor form. But here we're going to select skin type dry and then just hit save. Now you must keep in mind that you also have the option to select a combination of two or more than two rules. So you can add another condition, and you can select form fields from here. And maybe the other condition is, how often do you use sunscreen? So if they said never, your suggestions could vary based on the option that they selected from these two form fields. But of course, we want to keep it simple right now. I'm just giving you some really insanely practical ideas, but let's just delete it for now, because we're going to simplify things for you. So we're going to save this, and then you can add action. Now, I just want to take a moment and talk about add action. So here you can, of course, this is the under WordPress, you've got send email option. So you can use this, and the email will be sent via your WordPress website, and then you can choose from a rich text template, a WooCommerce template, or a raw HTML template, right, based on your requirement. But in addition to that, you can also choose some of the other actions that we've got. So for example, if you want to add someone to an automation in ActiveCampaign, then you can add contact to automation. So if maybe you want to add them a tag, dry skin, well, you can do that. You can add them to an automation, and an ActiveCampaign, there could be a dedicated automation that you've set up. So you can select your automation from here, whatever the name of the automation that you've created, in order to nurture these people your leads who submit the form on your landing page. So that's what you could do as well. So again, you've got ActiveCampaign, ConvertKit, and Drip. You could also choose to send a Slack message to yourself that, well, here's what happened. Someone just filled out a form, their skin type is dry, and they never use a sunscreen. Right? Or you could also send out a Twilio SMS using the Twilio SMS service. You could send an SMS to them. Thank you for filling out the form, and here are your results, or here are the products that we recommend to you. So you've got a bunch of insanely functional and really great options here. So I'm going to select WordPress right now and a rich text template. In order to simplify things, we're going to send them an email. Now here within send email, well, I'd like to familiarize you with merge tags. So here you can see that when you have to personalize your email, you'd want to know what their first name is. So for that, you can use merge tags. So here you've got Elementor form field. We're going to select that, and from here we will select enter your name. So that's the field. Now remember, I told you about field ID, that how you need to map the field ID with the field. So well, that's the reason why I told you, because you can see that here now the field ID here is name, right? So we're going to copy this to clipboard and we will paste it here. So their first name will get printed. Now again, your subject line could be your skin needs this results, right? And again, here we're going to use merge tags. So this is our form field, and we're going to select email. So there you go. Let's copy to clipboard and let's just paste this here. Yes. So the email will go to the email ID that the person submitted in the form, and that's hi, first name, whatever their name is, whatever they entered in the form. All right, so that's that. Now I'm not going to waste any time writing an email, so I'm just going to copy it and paste it here. I already had written this email, so it just says thank you for taking the test, and thank you for filling out our survey, and here are some products that we think that will really help you. And as you can notice, we've hyperlinked each of them, and so they can go to their dedicated product page of these products, and of course go ahead and buy. Right, so that's what we've got, and also I'd like to tell you that you can set a delay on this email. So if you do not want to send it out immediately, you can send it after a delay of say 5 minutes or whatever it is. If you're creating a sequence of 2 or more emails, then delay is just a great function, because it allows you to sort of time your emails really well and create a sequence, a well-planned sequence. So you can set delays in minutes, hours and days, right? So that's what it is. And now moving on, this is the next condition. So all right, before that, let's just hit save. Moving on to the next one, so we're going to again say conditional action, and if form field is skin type is oily, right, then we have add action, and the action of course is send another email. Now let me show you a really cool hack. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit copy, and then we're going to paste it here. So yeah, we don't need this here, so let's just paste this here. So there you go. So the same email has been copied. Of course you can make changes, so let's say you're here, if you're talking about dry skin, and this email can talk about oily skin. Of course the testimonials and social proof would be related to this condition, and so would the product recommendations be. So that's kind of a really nifty feature, nifty hack that I showed you right here, which would really fasten your process of building a workflow. Well, now here, as you can see, that we are recommending them 3 products in the email itself and sending them over to their to different product pages. But if you really want to minimize friction in the buying process and maximize conversions, then we suggest that you send them over to a one-page checkout. So handhold them all the way through, and you can just say, well, check out your results here, or it could be your personal beauty stack is here, and so on. And then you could just hyperlink this one thing to that one page checkout. So now I'm really thrilled to share with you the one page checkout that I've built using Arrow. Let's get there. Okay, so this is your one-page checkout, and we've built it using Arrow Checkout. And well, you can send traffic, you can send people from your email list from after they filled out the Elementor form, and you send them an email to this page. And what this really does is that it's designed to close the sale. Yes, it's designed to close the sale. So here you can have a short demo of the product, or a short demo about your company, about your mission, vision, values, how you really stick with, let's say, organic products, or really the bigger picture. And then here is how you're going to say goodbye to a dry and dehydrated skin. Your personal beauty stack is here. Based on your survey results, we've put together a list of items from our store that will really help you. Here's what's part of your personal beauty stack, and then 1, 2 and 3. Right, and so this is such a great, it's really, it makes the buying process frictionless, because as you can see, this is a multi-step checkout form. So we've got 3 steps here. On the first step, we don't ask them to fill out anything. There are no details needed. We just show them what's part of their beauty stack, what are the products that we've selected for them. So here they can also adjust the quantity, they can increase the number of items. But of course, if you do not want it, you can even do away with the quantity adjuster. So that is your choice. So here's what you've got. We've simply listed the products, and there are check boxes. They can uncheck any item that they do not need. Yep, so that will be unchecked, and well, they do not have to, they don't have to buy it. So they can create their custom mini kit, right? So it makes them feel in control of their buying decision. It makes them feel empowered. They can choose what they want and leave out what they don't. And here we've got some additional description about each of the products. Then they move over to the next step where they fill out their name and their shipping details and all of that, and finally proceed to final step where they make the payment. And of course, you can have an order bump here to increase their average order value, but that's up to you. Well, so here's a quick recap of what we discussed in this video. What we looked at, how to create a clean, good-looking Elementor multi-step form, and then how to connect it with WooCommerce using Autonomy, how to use Autonomy to send out personalized product recommendation email. And we also looked at how to use Arrow checkout to create a dedicated one-page checkout. Now, I do have a video which shows you how to create a one-page checkout from scratch using one of our Elementor templates. Well, I would urge you to go ahead and watch it. The link is right above there. I'm sure you'd enjoy it. So thank you so much for watching. I have put all the relevant links in the description box below. Do take a look at them. Go ahead and explore more about Autonomy and Arrow checkout, and just I'm sure you'll be pretty much blown away by what the combination of these two tools can do for you. So thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, please pop them in the comment box below. I would be happy to answer them. That's me, Tavleen, and I will see you in my next video.